Pubes yet?
Daniel, you can't say that to him.
Daniel, that is a minor. I'm kidding.
That's a child!
That is a child. That is your child. I'm kidding. Hey guys, welcome to the stream. It's the F1 Trinity with your boys. I'm kidding. I'm Rachael. What's up? Favorite teams: Red Bull, McLaren. Unfortunately, Ferrari, because we're gonna talk about it. We'll talk about it later. Favorite drivers: Max, Lando, Oscar. Love Oscar. George and Carlos. And there's a cat in the background.
You go.
Fuck you. I'm Camryn. My favorite teams are Haas, McLaren. I would say Red Bull, but they piss me off sometimes. My favorite drivers are Yuki, Pierre, and Oscar.
I'm Maze. My favorite teams are Ferrari, unfortunately, McLaren, and Mercedes. I like Lewis, Daniel, and Alex Albon.
Y'all are rooting for some.
What the
As an American, that's just kind of a given. It's not a I have to state it. It's a he is the American. He is the next president. What are we talking about here? Is he old enough? No. Would I still vote for him? Yes.
I feel like everyone should vote for him. He's a king.
I tell people all the time that I'm just like, please. But anyway, I would like to talk about the 2026 Audi with George Russell and potentially Max Verstappen going to Mercedes, because what the Hold on. What?
That's why I don't believe it, is because it would have been believable if they said Kimi Antonelli to Mercedes to replace George Russell going to Audi.
Yes.
But Max, he's not going to leave Red Bull.
No.
If he leaves Red Bull, I owe somebody a kidney.
I got two of them. I'll
Got
gamble
two,
them.
so
his contract is till 28, right? Max's contract is till 28.
Yeah.
Like, what does he gain from going to Mercedes is my thing. I mean, like, he gains going to Mercedes. That's really it. Like, it's not like he's like, oh, I'm not in the fastest car. He's literally in one of the fastest cars. If he wants to be in the fastest car, go to McLaren. And McLaren right now is having fun with Oscar and Lando. So unless Lando, like, shits the bed or Oscar, like, explodes, I don't think that's going to happen.
McLaren plays Oscar, and it hurts me. Okay?
Oh, God. I will talk about Orange Ferrari in a minute. Okay? We'll talk about them. Don't worry.
It's kind of the same thing with George. Like, what does he have to gain from leaving Mercedes?
Right. Except, like, going to Audi. That's it. That's all he gains.
He's becoming the number one driver for Mercedes.
Yeah. I mean...
And leaving to Audi when they already signed Nico Hülkenberg, it's...
Did they really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed that. Whoops, my bad.
I got my little lineup right here.
I missed that one. Oops.
That's a my lineup.
I'm just raw dogging this shit.
I know who I would love to see on teams. So, because there's only 6 teams that still need a second driver.
Right.
And there are 7 drivers who have not signed. Carlos, please.
Carlos needs to sign a seat right now. He needs to get his shit together.
Him posting about him watching the Euros instead of picking a contract.
Yeah, you're like, okay, we get it. You love Euros, but I also love being able to sleep at night.
Yeah, like, it's gonna be December and they're still not gonna have their shit together at all. And he's not gonna have a team. He's just gonna drive, the safety car?
Carlos, see, somebody left a comment on one of my TikToks that was like, Carlos is gonna be Lando's strategist. That's where he's going. And I was just like, you know what? I could see it.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of
It's possible.
iconic, but also at the same time, I need Carlos to drive.
Right, I just don't know what he's thinking. Like, I get it, you don't want to announce it yet, that's fine. But can you at least tell us that you have a contract? I don't care if you don't want to announce where it is, but just be like, I have a contract, guys. That's totally fine. Like, we'll be happy with that. Just give us, like, the bare minimum. It's like begging, like, your ex-boyfriend. You're like, please, just give me the bare minimum. Carlos is just like, I'm like, come on.
He's becoming the ex-boyfriend.
He's becoming the ex-boyfriend.
He is.
And I want to continue to support him. I always say, which is kind of bad on me, but I'm always like, I'm not a Ferrari fan. I'm a Carlos and Charles fan, because sometimes Ferrari makes me want to, like, just because they just make such calls. I was talking with somebody in my comment section about it, and they were saying how Carlos, the whole reason that Carlos is doing so much better than Charles is because Carlos just straight up tells them no, because he's not driving for Ferrari next year. He's like, they make a call, and he's just like, no. And he just does what he wants. What are they going to do? Tell him no?
Well, that's the thing with K-Mag, is since now he's announced that he won't be going to Haas, which I'm sad about. I'm sad seeing him leave Haas.
Yeah.
Because I would love him to be, like, a mentor to Ollie, but...
Oh, if Ollie gets Esteban, oh god.
Hell goes down. Because, like, Esteban, he...
I'm bestie outside of racing.
Yes.
Because he keeps on crashing into Pierre. He's not scared to crash into his teammate. He's not really a team player. It's like World War III on track. Trust.
but they're both French, so it's just the French Civil War part.
It's another French Revolution.
And I'm just like, guys.
Yeah.
it's like, are we racing? Or are we playing ping pong? Like.
But at least now we can see K-Mag drag the way he wants. Because what are they going to do? Cancel his contract?
He's like, I did that myself. Queen.
He's 2 steps ahead of them.
He is. And that's going to bring me into my next point. Yuki and Liam Lawson.
Don't even bring that up.
Give me a second. Whoa. Right here. This is how much he said about it.
Oh my god. I read the article.
He preached.
Yeah. He said, if they choose Liam, that would be weird. Which is fair. It would be weird for Liam to get the seat.
Because he didn't even try for F1.
Because Liam did a really good job when he drove in the sim, but I think I did more than that. So we'll see how it goes. They know how to manage the drivers. But do they?
Do they know how to manage the drivers? Because we can talk about Daniel and Checo if we want, but, like, because basically, if you look at it from, like, a statistical standpoint, Ricardo has been more consistent in the last couple of races than Checo. Now, I'm not hitting on Checo. We love Checo. However, he's been having, like, a rough go of things, especially the 2 races where he qualified really low. From what I've read, there was, like, side damage to his car that also impacted his, like, abilities to race. I'm like, okay, but he also drove straight into a gravel trap. That was just user error. That was not side damage to his car. Like, that was him, and you can't tell me it wasn't. Because didn't Max drive into the same gravel pit, like, later?
And he had undercarriage damage.
Yeah!
Which went into his quali, and that's why he qualified poorly. And then
he qualified 4th. What do you mean poorly?
Poorly? It wasn't his best. And poorly for him is not being first.
It's poorly for him. It's poorly for what he's...
Poorly?
Okay.
All right.
Because poorly for him statistically is what I want Logan to have, okay? But if we want to bring in practice day, Checo was 11th fastest.
Yeah.
In the same car.
Here's the problem with liking both Checo and Daniel. I really don't want to see either of them lose their seat. And a lot of people are saying online, they're like, Daniel's done, Daniel's washed, all this stuff. And I'm like, I don't think he's washed yet. I think he's getting to the point that it's time for him to retire, which is really sad to say. but I think that he should get to retire on his terms and not on like the team's terms. Like they forced him out of McLaren. Like there's a thing that he talked about recently where McLaren has a history of just like canceling contracts.
Oh, like
and they just like cancel. They straight up just cancel the contract,
saying that he's not leaving McLaren, and then immediately.
Don't worry, guys. I'm not leaving McLaren. Teehee.
Right. And then he leaves McLaren because they signed Oscar behind his back. Like, no hate to Oscar. It's not his fault. Yeah. But they were like, I'm not leaving McLaren. And then McLaren's just like, goodbye.
Well, you are.
And like, if you look at McLaren's history in other series, they did that in IndyCar to... God, I can't remember his name at the moment. But they did it to the guy in IndyCar. He was supposed to go drive for them in IndyCar. And they were just like, yoink! Like, what are you doing? It's just like I
don't remember the name either.
I don't remember his name, and it's really making me mad. But it's just like McLaren has a history of doing that kind of crap, and I'm worried because like Daniel doesn't deserve it. Neither does Checo. People are out here hating that Checo like got re-signed, and I'm like, he at the time deserved to be re-signed.
He was doing really good this season until he got signed. I mean, but my thing with Yuki is he straight up says that he's ready to fight against the top teams, higher positions, but also with Max.
Yeah.
Red Bull doesn't want that as their second driver. They don't want competition for Max.
Yeah,
they just want competition for everybody else.
They want somebody who could race, but not against Max. They could race against the others, but they're not good enough to race against Max and win.
And that's like Nico talking about I think it was Nico. Was it Nico or Kevin? It was Nico. We're talking about how in 2020 he had been in talks with Red Bull before they signed Checo. And he was like, I want to fight against Max. And I'm like, that's half the reason you didn't get signed. They don't want somebody to fight against Max. They want somebody to do what Checo did to Lewis Hamilton, which was guard the hell out of him and then like let Max pass.
I think then they should get Bottas.
True. Snaps for that.
Because Bottas only really got his podiums when Hamilton either was underperforming in the car or if he had to retire the car early in a race.
Right. And Bottas is such a good team driver.
He is.
Right. He's such a good team driver. And everyone's like, oh, Bottas is washed. No, he's not. He's just in a shit car.
He's in a kick Sauber. They're doing shit this year.
I don't know.
Joe is a good driver. He is doing shit this year.
Did you guys see his crash with Checo? His almost crash with Checo today during
his
F2?
spin. Yeah, his spin.
Yeah. he blamed Checo for it. It's like, wait.
Checo didn't even touch him.
Checo didn't even touch him because Checo just goes, whoa, like in his radio if you listen to his comms, and you're just like, what just happened? I feel like it's something with turn 4, because that's where Charles crashed, too, was in turn 4 and FP2. Yeah.
Turn 4 was giving people issues for F2 as well. Turn 4 and turn 11, where it got so bad. Here, I can go to my notes from that. It got so bad that, like one of the big league, but like one of the best drivers in Formula 3 is Browning's, and he had a wheel lock where the tail end of his car just like fucking he slid into the wall, causing a red flag, and Limbald and they both lost their best lap times because of the red flag, and they called the race there. Qualifying.
And like if you go back and watch FP2, Charles does the same thing. He's like, I touched the wall, and I was like, no, you crashed into that wall. It was not a touch.
I just waved the wall. Currently is in between it in his car.
Yeah. I was like, that's not a touch. You just crashed into the wall. Like, you fully crashed into that wall. And he was just like, I touched the wall. I was like, oh. Mm-hmm.
I would also say with F2, watching it because Ali is an F2 driver this year, but he also did the first free practice in place of
Nico.
And
I saw that.
Both performances were just underwhelming for someone who's gonna be in F1 next year. It was like a very underwhelming practice session, and then he has been in the habit this season of after he drives in F1, he can't readjust to F2, and so it's gonna. Like, I'm hoping next year, since he won't be doing F2 as well, it won't be as jarring.
Yeah.
Right. Well, who is he reserve driver for?
Ferrari.
Was it?
No.
I was like, isn't he a reserve driver for Ferrari? Because he went in for Carlos when he had his appendix out, right? That was this year?
Yeah, he
This
did,
year?
I think.
I think that was this year.
Yeah, it was.
Because it was before Australia, because that's when he was on the podium.
Yeah.
Because Carlos won,
Yeah,
he was
but
on
he
podium
did
in
the-
Australia.
Yes, but he did the free practice since he signed to them next year. They had him do a free practice in the Haas car.
Yes.
And then Nico did the second free practice and did a lot better in the same car.
I
Same a
also
lot
would like to
better.
talk.
I'm looking
we wanna-
before I shoot myself in the foot.
We want to talk about an underwhelming performance. Oscar's free practice, the second one, he qualified what, like P13? He was 13th. I was like,
he was 13.
I was like, where is Oscar Jack
Came back with
Piastri
six.
Leclerc? Like,
K-Mag was
Where was
P6.
he?
I was so happy.
oh yeah, I was like, okay, K-Mag just announced that he doesn't have a contract anymore, and
K-Mag
man's
went
just
from
driving like a
P19
grim
and
reaper.
P1 to P6 and P2 in practice 2. So,
Which I was happy that one of the Ferraris did well. Thank you, Carlos. As a Ferrari fan, thank you, Carlos.
no, because Charles did good the first free practice where he got
The first free practice, and then he
third.
touched the wall in air quotes.
Yeah, I touched the wall earlier. It hurt my shoulder when I did it.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, it's so real. It's just like I don't want to be like, okay, race predictions, because like it's so up in the air. Everyone is like manifesting an Oscar win, and I want to see it. I want to see it so bad. Oscar deserves it so bad. After
Yeah.
McLaren has fucked him over so many times this season with the double pit in Austria, or not Austria, double pit in Silverstone. And the British GP, they didn't double pit the McLarens, and then they were like, goodbye, Oscar.
Yeah.
Like,
I want Logan to win.
Oscar really
Yeah,
deserves to
Logan
win because he's been so
Oscar deserves it.
consistent. He's been so
Yeah.
consistent.
Guys, you just get screwed over last
Yeah.
minute by McLaren strategists.
Yeah.
And it's not even his fault.
His rookie year was so amazing.
Right.
He's like one of the best in the
good,
entire world.
he's a good driver. He's a
Yeah.
great driver. And everyone's like, oh, well, he's not going to beat Max because even though he's in the fastest car, they're not going to beat Max. McLaren's not going to beat Max. I'm like, you do realize that this is Max's 9th season on the grid, and his first season, he was like 17, I think, was when he could drive a Formula 1 car before he could drive a real car.
17.
He was 17, it was illegal, and now it's not illegal,
Yeah.
because you can get your super license at 17 now, which, that's a whole different thing that I think is stupid. I think it should still be 18. Like, it's dangerous. It's so dangerous. And now they're trying to put Kimi in Mercedes. Send that boy to Williams. At least for 2 years.
It was Kimi might go to Mercedes, but he might also go to Audi. It just depends on what George does. It's like, I love Kimi. He doesn't have enough practice time in an F1 car.
No.
That's the only reason I'm comfortable with Oliver Behrman being in F1 is because he does do so many of the practice runs.
Yes. It's just like, I don't want another Logan. I don't think my heart can handle another
Yeah.
Logan. I think I'd actually just die.
I mean, he does deserve it, but he hasn't had enough experience. He
I
needs to get
agree.
more
Like,
experience, then he could go into F1.
he just needs more time. And he's only 17. Like, it's not like you're gonna lose him. He's 17. It's not like he's like 30. It's not like he's our favorite rookie.
Hey, that feels like
Fernando
a diss for
Alonso.
my favorite rookie. Fernando.
Fernando, our favorite rookie.
Just experience, guys.
Fernando is
It's just
rookie
like-
of the decade, honestly.
You get it. It's just, I was talking to one of my other friends who likes Formula One, and he was like, I understand why Toto wants to sign him so bad, because he's like the Max Verstappen of Mercedes. And I was like, yeah, I get that. But like, he wasn't raised by Jos Verstappen. Like, that's not something that happened. The reason that Max was able to do what he did is because of his father. Like, straight up.
No one should be forcing him to be the next Max Verstappen, just like it shouldn't be,
No.
You have to be the next Lewis Hamilton or the next Ayrton Senna or Niki Lauda. You shouldn't have to be one of the great.
Like, no.
You should become one yourself. That's what they should be pushing for.
Right. And the fact that Toto is, like, essentially, I feel like he's headhunting Kimi, and Kimmy's just not, he's not ready yet. Me, when I was 17, I would have been, a junior or senior in American high school? Like, no. Like, I could barely drive my 2007 Honda Civic, let alone an F1 car.
License when I was 17.
Exactly. I had my license, but like still, it's just like you're gonna put a 17-year-old in a car when their frontal lobe is not developed yet. I just don't think that's a great idea. Like even putting Ollie in an F1 car is still kind of iffy to me. I feel like 18 is still really young to get a super license.
19,
I feel like it should be older.
Watch it. But no, I agree. As someone who is like the same age within a week of Ollie, being in like that much pressure being put on him, he's gonna break mentally. We're gonna get depressed Charles Ferrari version of Ollie.
Yeah.
I don't actually think I could do that, because honestly, Charles right now breaks my heart. It literally breaks my heart. I saw a comment that somebody wrote, they were like, Charles used 50 years of luck in Monaco, and I'm like, this is just so not fair to him. He deserved that Monaco win so badly, but then he like sold his soul for the Monaco win. Like, just give man a break. Just give him a break, please, just one break. And not his car. Don't break his car. Literally give him a physical break. Like, not that kind of break. Just give our boy a break, please. As a Ferrari fan, please, whoever is listening, let Charles be. It's like leave Brittany alone, but Charles version.
Yeah.
I feel like half the drivers. Just leave him alone.
Just leave him alone. He doesn't deserve it anymore. He's had enough misfortune, okay? Let's see. Anything else happen that was interesting? Can we talk about Lando's helmet in the car today?
It's so beautiful.
It looks so good. It looks so good.
So gorgeous. I need like a mini version of it.
Oh,
you know, the ones you could buy. I need it.
I saw somebody say that they weren't selling a mini version of it, and I think they're missing out on money. So many people would buy that so fast.
They would make billions off of that. They're missing out so much.
There's a china cabinet right here, and it would look perfect, just right next to the...
In my china cabinet.
Yeah, no one would know the difference.
Can we also talk about Esty Bestie's helmet? Hello?
I know. At first...
his trophy?
Yeah, at first I only saw Lando's, then I saw Esteban's, and I was like, are all the drivers gonna do this?
I wish all the drivers did it, because then you'd get like a lineup of all their helmets. And it would have been
Dude, that would
amazing,
be such a cool photo.
Logan would never use American helmet.
Logan would never. Logan is too much of an American. I'm gonna make this comment because I think it's funny. My favorite non-American American is Daniel Ricciardo. Yeah. Man likes the Buffalo Bills. Like, what are you doing? He has a farm and loves the Buffalo Bills.
Maze is your close second for my favorite
non-American American. Yeah.
It's Daniel Mays, and then nobody else.
No one else.
Maybe
it's Alex. Like my boyfriend's F1 grid. But isn't he Canadian?
British.
Yeah, I know, but I thought
he's from
I thought
Thailand.
He was born in Canada.
Thailand.
I thought he was born in Canada. Who was? Oh, I'm thinking of Lance.
No hate to Lance, but he can stay Canadian.
Yeah, he can.
Don't hate on the Canadians. I have Canadians that I like.
I do too. He can stay Canadian.
He didn't do anything really spectacular in the free practice either. I looked and I was just like, where's Lance? Quali for F2 and F3? Who?
So because the way they do their sprint, at least for F3, when I remember correctly, it's gonna be the top 12 reversed for the sprint.
I've heard Carlos talked about this in an interview he did because there's a couple F1 drivers that want to do it that way. They want to do a reverse grid where whoever qualifies P1 starts P20 and whoever's P20 starts P1.
But
Logan could win a race if that happens.
he can qualify above P12 sometimes.
He can. Sometimes.
Prima going to IndyCar next year, and he already has his connection to Prima from his is his F2 or F3 days.
Yeah, because he was like Oscar was Prima too at the same time.
So I would love to see him in IndyCar because then I might actually be able to see him race because it doesn't cost a fucking kidney and heart to go to a race.
True.
But also just the fan base is so much nicer.
So much less toxic. I cannot tell you how many times people have like fought me on stuff in my comments about just random F1 things because they're like, if you don't like my favorite driver, you hate them. And I'm like, no, I don't hate anyone on the grid. They all deserve to be there. Obviously, they're there.
It's like when people are like, oh, if you like Lewis Hamilton, you hate Max, or if you like Max, you hate Lewis.
Oh my god, yes.
Like, no.
I hate that.
No, they're all multimillionaires. I don't put that much effort into like how much I like them.
Right.
I like that they drive fast. I like when people win.
Yeah.
I get sad about people leaving the sport.
I'd like to write a hate letter to F1 for causing me a mass amounts of heartbreak every couple of years when all the contracts expire.
Although, I do want to say, I love the fact that only reason I love that they're getting rid of DRS is as a female F1 fan, we're not going to have to deal with, well, what's DRS?
Yeah.
I
was going to say that in the group chat on Instagram. Like, we're not going to have to deal with that anymore.
Complaining about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was complaining about it.
Then again, how are they going to overtake people in a straight?
They're getting it's just not the DRS system.
So they're getting a different system.
Yeah.
It's like,
it's going to be like
how they start the race is how they're going to end the race. There's not going to be any changes up or down.
Well, I mean, unless
pit stops are going to be the only way they overtake.
Yeah.
Well, and if you just have another Max v Lando.
Or if you have another instant where you just drive past a wall. Drive past it.
It's just that's never not going to be funny. It's literally just an incident moment.
Literally. Like, oh, sorry guys, I just wanted to give it a hug. We said bye though.
Actually, guys, the wall was a lot nicer than like the fans, so I think I'm gonna stick with the wall.
The wall is a lot nicer than the fans.
I am happy. I want to say that I was happy that no one was injured from the crashes from today because there were because there was an F3 crash. I think there might have been an F2 crash.
Yeah, there was quite a few crashes.
Were they on turn 4, turn 11?
Yeah, turn 11 was awful. Because the way the wind was catching the cars.
Okay.
It was causing, like, system lockups, the back end to slide out, someone almost, like, they barely missed a crash. I don't remember if it was, I know it's F3, but I don't remember which driver it was. I watched a lot of racing today. Something.
Felt. Except I was at work all day, so I watched what I could.
A lot of racing. I got a 2 a.m. race.
Which race is at 2? I guess 3 for me, but
yeah, the F3 sprint is at 2 a.m. Central Time.
I think it would be like 10 in the morning for me, 11 maybe.
imagine it's like 2 a.m., 3 a.m.,
You feel like
10.
you don't stay up for 4 days.
It might actually be 2 p.m. Because normally it's at 2 p.m. or something.
I don't know. That's at weird times for us Americans. It's normally like either the middle of the night or like the middle of the day.
Oh, as soon as F1 Quali finishes tomorrow, I'm gonna take a nap and then wake up for IndyCar.
Fair. I'm gonna have my Max Verstappen moment. Here's a
Oh my
cat.
God. Guest of the podcast.
Oh my god. Guest
Yeah.
of the podcast. There's a cat.
Actually,
I mean, there's no fear of this one turning into a pancake though, because I'm not sim racing. So, the only other thing, like news related this week that I think we should touch on is the Jules Bianchi X post. Yikes!
They're using it as promotion, and I think is it a fictional film or series?
And people in the comments very politely were like, "Hey, you might want to rethink this because he is a real person who died a real death."
Yeah, a very tragic one at that.
Yeah, and he's
for promotion material, and I swear to God, if they show it in the movie as one of the background tweets,
I'm throwing hands.
Because it's not the Apex movie Twitter paying homage to it. It's the fake F1 teams from the Twitter making a post about it.
It's gross. Like, first of all, it's disrespectful to Jules himself, but it's disrespectful to Fernando. It's disrespectful to Daniel, Charles, all the people who love Jules, and they're just like, content. Like, it's not funny.
It's so disrespectful to him, his family, the drivers, the fans, everyone.
Right.
And it's just really disgusting for them to do that.
It's like when edit accounts, sorry you two, but when they make like thirst trap edits of Jules or Senna.
No. Ew. Nasty. No. XXX. Mm-mm.
Get out of here.
No.
That expressed me too much. And I know I forget her name on TikTok, but she talked about it, and I was like, yeah, no, it's gross. And it was before the whole F1 account on Twitter putting we will miss him.
I don't even make like thirst trap edits. My clips are like, compared to some of the clips I've seen, mine are tame. Very, very tame.
I would never do thirst trap edits ever.
Me neither. They make me feel gross.
It's also like an age thing from us where it's like,
yeah.
You know my take on this. I've talked about this so many times.
You've talked about this for...
I've talked about this at least 4 times.
But it's a real thing where it's like people need to remember their age in relation to the drivers, but also the drivers as a whole. They're people. They are people outside of their job.
People need to remember that they're people. They're humans. They have their own lives. They're not just
me and May
F1 drivers that you could just watch on TV and that's it.
For those of us,
and we had thirst trap edits of us, it'd be like, what the fuck, for people?
It's just gross. Like, it's just gross.
Yeah, and
for the fans who don't know what we're talking about, I'm famous for talking about how people like simp over people in their 40s and they're like 15, 16 years old. I am mid-20s, and I don't even, like, consider dating, like, Max or George or anything like that. And they're only, like, 4 or 5 years older than I am. And I'm just like, no, gross. Yeah. No, thank you. It's just gross. It's gross. Yeah, making thirst trap edits of dead people is gross. Trying to date people who are the age of your dad is also gross.
Or,
like,
older than your dad. Because some people's parents are so
young. That's even worse.
Well,
that's even worse.
Say, thirst trapping and talking sexually about someone who is in a very committed, very happy relationship.
That is also gross.
because you wouldn't want someone doing that about your partner. Why are you doing that about someone else's?
Also, bringing up F1 drivers' exes from like years ago, also gross. People bringing up Charlotte for Charles, people bringing up Louisa for Lando, like their relationship has been over for so long. Please stop bringing it up. It's weird. They don't want to hear you talking about a relationship that ended so long ago. And like for Charles, he's in a new relationship that's what, like 2 years old at this point?
Yeah.
Like he doesn't want to hear it.
Yeah, me and Cam
It's
talked about
gross.
this
Stop
the other
doing
day. Where it's like, if you were in a relationship and it's public, you wouldn't want people reminding you that it ended and how it ended and that they were a good person to you or not. Like, it's just a big reminder, and it'd be like harder for them to get over that person.
Especially since, like, in the case of Charlotte and Charles, they said that, hey, we're still friends. I think this is the same for Louisa and Lando. It's like they straight up said, we are still friends. We're just not dating anymore.
Like,
and it's like, imagine your friend is your ex, and people are like, oh my god, I love you two when you were together.
Yeah, no, because...
It's just weird.
Okay, this has nothing to do with F1, but life story. I did date one of my friends, but we're, like, best friends now. They're, like, we're best friends. And this one person, he keeps on reminding us that we dated, and it was like, oh, you guys were such a good couple, you were a good couple. And it's just really weird for him to mention that, like, every 5 minutes. So I couldn't, like, imagine millions of people doing that, let alone one.
Right. It's weird.
Yeah. It's really not great.
And then you have the people who hate on the wags, which is even worse. Like, this is a topic for, like, summer break, when we could talk about this, like, more in depth, because, like, we still have racing to talk about. We still have races, we should talk about them. But it's just, like, we should do one that's just our hot takes, because I have so many hot takes that people will hate. I know they'll hate them.
We have drinking to every time you say something stupid.
That would... You laugh, you drink. Every time one of us laughs at a funny clip of an F1 driver.
Every time I tell y'all that I want to make somebody brisket.
Dude, I would be so drunk.
Hi, I want to make you brisket.
Okay, you have to...
Love you.
You gotta explain the story now. Explain the story now.
Yeah, no, for context, I drink. Borderline alcoholic some days. Kidding. And when I do, my first thought is, you know what I want to do? I want to cook brisket. And my first thought is, I would love to send this F1 driver some brisket. Like, I would love to cook them brisket. So, last night, I was drinking and called with Maze. By the way, I found something out that I'll tell you later, Rachel. Because Maze already knows. But I texted Yuki. I was just like, hey, can I make you brisket when you race at Coda? Yuki, SC Lando, Logan, Daniel.
It's just like people are in their DMs like, oh my gosh, I want a chance with you. Give me a chance. And you're just like, can I make you brisket, please?
Yeah. My sweet southern heart just wants to make brisket.
Yeah. Last time I got drunk and I texted someone, it was Shane Top. If anyone knows who that, Shane Top. I said, hot take, you're a menace to gangster rap.
Oh!
What? Are you wrong? No.
Are you wrong? No. It's but just like me, like how I say like all the time. I want to meet Max Verstappen so I can talk about my cats. Yeah. Like that's what I want to do. I want to yap about my cats. Max Verstappen.
I want to make brisket.
If I see
we're
Max
just girls.
I am getting my cat and be like, sign him, please.
Sign my cat. It's not like taking sign my baby to a whole new level. Sign my cat.
Sign my cat.
That is my baby.
Like bringing him up by his back two legs. Like sign my cat.
It's like, I don't know. I think I sent it. I don't know if I sent the clip to both of you, but it was Max explaining
Yeah.
cat tail logic to whoever he was like being interviewed by. He was like, that cat doesn't have a tail.
Cat, and he was like,
Yeah, he
have a tail? The tail's
doesn't
very
have a
important.
tail. But the tail's really important to cats. It's just like, okay.
The cat needs a tail.
It's so
very
funny.
important.
Also, fun fact, my device is going to die soon. I was at work, okay? I forgot to grab a charger this morning because I'm an idiot. And I figured the location that I'm filming at would have a charger. Turns out when your friends go on vacation, they take all of their electrical charging things with them. So, that's fun.
Go around the house just looking for chargers.
Yeah.
I'm just like, guys, I'll be right
go
back.
to a store and get a charger from there or something.
Charger? From what store? I'm in the middle of bumfuck nowhere.
I don't know.
No.
You guys make it
Teleport.
seem like I'm like, sure. Once I can teleport, then I'll just be an F1 driver. That's the dealio.
Teleport Logan on podium for me.
I will. I'll just help him. I'll just Jesus guide the car.
Yeah, I want to say my brisket thing. Logan was the first person I messaged because I was like, well, he's American. He'll like brisket. That was my whole logic was he's the American one, so...
Yuki would love... I think Yuki would love brisket. I also think Danny would love brisket.
Well,
Yeah.
I won't know until
Yuki
one
is
of
a
the...
big food lover because he loves cooking
Yuki is a
himself,
foodie.
and
Yeah.
he just loves it.
Okay, side note, we're talking about cooking. Carlos Sainz has a restaurant, question mark? Have you guys heard that? That apparently he has, like, a secret burger restaurant that he just sells.
Yeah. Oh,
He owns a restaurant?
He can't cook himself, but he owns a
No!
restaurant.
But he owns a restaurant! The Lanto and Carlos, whose teammates, like, would never have I ever. Whose teammates
You think he could cook?
No.
You're funny.
Yes, you think he can cook? It's like, no. And then he said, Lando called me Lando.
And Yuki's like, I cooked, and like all proud, and Pierre's just like, Yuki cooked. He's really good at it.
Yeah, that was
really good.
It was a nice moment. Then it was just Lando dissing Carlos about his cooking.
It was both of them dissing each other, and then Carlos said Lando called Nando.
With the past week when Ralph Schumacher came out because we wanted to end it.
Oh,
and Lando's comment about it. That was very adorable.
my heart.
Because Daniel was even like, I'm happy that I race in a day and age where it's acceptable for drivers to come out. And one of the other drivers was like, I hope that this makes any other drivers, whether it be Formula One or other versions of motorsports, feel like they can come out without being criticized. Because 2 of the members of the pod are gay, and it's like, we're so excited.
We're so excited. It's just like, I think it's a really big step for Formula One itself, for acceptance. You see Lewis, like,
Always has.
Fighting for that. He's an advocate.
Yeah.
He is the advocate in Formula One, in my opinion. He advocates so hard for so many things, and I think it's so important. And to see all of the other teams just being like, yeah, just let them live how they want to live, I think it's so important to see. And especially because, like, in the media, it's a lot of, like, going back and forth on these kind of topics. And I think that I understand people who sit one way or the other. I get it. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, and that's fine. But also, like, if that person's living their life and they're not bothering you, why don't you just let them live their life? Like, you're gonna live your life, let them live theirs. It's not like it's hurting you.
I feel like it's more important now because the more of the younger generation is starting to watch F1, and they're getting influenced by them. So they're getting taught that, oh, it's okay to be this or do this, and it's okay to not be this or do this.
Not a problem. But like the thing, like I get why he would wait till after he's not been in F1 for a little bit, because and like it was talked about on Sky Sports this morning, where it's like you can't race in some countries or
Right.
without worrying about your safety if you do come out.
And I completely like agree with that. And it sucks. It really does suck that you can't be who you want to be because it feels like a part of you is lying.
Yeah.
And like you don't want to lie to the people you care about. You don't want to lie to your fans. You don't want to lie to people that you see as family. And you have to keep yourself safe. And it shouldn't be that way.
And that's disappointing.
I was like,
but the support that was like really refreshing to see, especially like
Yeah.
everyone this morning just being like, "No, I'm proud of him for speaking out and feeling he could do that safely."
For sure. I agree. And I think a lot of the driver responses, even if they were just kind of like, I'm happy that he gets to live how he wants to live, like, that is still an adequate answer. That is more than adequate. Like, it's just like Max talking about in multiple interviews, he's been like, you know, a girl or a guy. He's talked about it from both sides as like a male in F1. He doesn't always just say like, oh, it's a girl. He's like, you know, whatever you're into, it's great. And it's like I love them for that because they're trying to be inclusive without just ramming it down people's throats because I know how much people love that. And I think that this is a great way that people have seen, like, they're just like, that's cool. I'm glad that that's something that happened. Fantastic. Now let's talk about racing. Like, it's not being swept under the rug as something that's unimportant, because it is important, and it's something that they talk about, but it's not the main focus. And that's what people, I think, get really, uppity about. They're like, oh my god, it's the main focus. I'm like, no, they mentioned it,
It was just a
4
quick
times.
question after,
Right.
I think it was pre-practice 1.
I think you're right.
Practices. But, and it was just like a quick, hey, how do you feel about it? And then they gave a nice little short message and continued.
Right.
On.
Yeah.
And then they started talking about racing. It's just like when they keep asking Lando and Max the same goddamn question about their fight in Austria. It's the same thing. They ask the same questions all the time. Are you and Max still friends? Yes. They're still friends.
They've had to repeat
They've said it so many times. Open your ears.
With me up about this last night. Thank you, maids, for listening to all my tangents. But they asked the group in the media yesterday for the press conference. They were like, "Do y'all think F1 should be an Olympic sport?" And it's like, stop asking. Like, no offense, I get it. It's like an important question, but y'all keep asking drivers the same exact question every time. They're like, "It's not a sport that translates."
Yeah. Like, they keep on asking the exact same question every time the driver takes a breath. Like, let them live. And they keep on shoving down that question, like, down their throat.
It's just like, it could be a fun one-off.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, because no one wanted to answer. They were all quiet during it, and, like, I wouldn't want to answer either, because I think Rachel's phone died.
Rachael.
So this is totally not the next day, and we're totally all wearing the same clothes, and this is totally not a second part to part 1. We're going to talk about Quali real fast for y'all, and then we're going to do race predictions, and then we will see you all for the post-race update. So, qualifying. Wow, okay. Q1, first part of qualifying, Gianni Ricciardo won, P1, yes, we love to see it. Yay, Danny. Also, oh, Checo.
Ooh.
Oh, Checo.
The gem he is.
He went out on turn 1 again. I mean, he finished, but he went out. This is his 4th race in a row that he went out in the first, like, round of qualifying. Also, George Russell. George! I felt so bad, because on his radio, he's like, sorry. It was so sad. And George was
It's
like,
not
I'm
like
sorry, guys.
disappointing on his behalf. It's disappointing because it feels like he got fucked again after being fucked out of Silverstone.
Yeah.
It's not his fault, but like, give him a break. It's gonna be like Ferrari for me, but like Ferrari, I'm used to them fucking up. I'm not used to it with Mercedes.
That's so real. But I'm just like, I felt so bad because he was blaming himself, but I'm pretty sure it was Mercedes not putting enough fuel in the car, which was said by the commentators. They were like, they didn't put enough fuel in the car. And I was like, why would you do that, for starters? That was really not the best idea. But whatever.
Maybe they did it so they could go faster because less weight.
I mean, maybe, but I don't know. I think it was a bad call on Mercedes' part, and George was trying to cover for them, and it breaks my little heart, because as much as George is such a goofball, I love him.
Yeah.
He's such...
Also, like, the Lando thing, where, no matter what his team does, he takes it more personal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with
In the
that.
British Grand Prix, he came, 4th? That's really good, but he was so hard on himself.
Just because it wasn't podium.
Yeah.
Which I get.
Yeah, and then
He's like...
on TikTok, I saw a video of baby Lando Norris being like, yeah, I came 4th, so that's, like, really good. I'm really happy with that. And then it cut to the video of the British Grand Prix, and I was like, stop it. Stop it.
Oh!
I'm gonna cry.
That actually hurt. That one hurt so bad. I did one that it was Charles and Lando's post-race interview, where it was Charles just saying, I don't even know what to say anymore. Like, when I come in here, I don't know what to say. And it was a sad edit. It was a sad edit of the two of them just being sad. And I was like, I can't with you guys. I don't.
Whoever makes sad edits, they are evil. They are evil.
Sad. I'm going to... I'm going to make a Mercedes edit, too. You're welcome, guys. It is coming. It's not there yet, but it's coming. Don't worry.
Well, we do have something to update with F2, because we were talking about Kimi Antonelli not really being ready yet yesterday. Mm-hmm. And I think today proved that with the sprint. He chose soft tires for a 28-lap sprint, where he didn't start P1, I think he started P2 if I remember correctly, and he was P1 for most of the race. And then his tires gave out because he was too hard on them at the early start to create a gap, and he had to pit, and he ended up like P16, 17. Yeah. I will say, like, of like the 5 or 6 drivers I was rooting for, only one used hard tires.
I just don't understand what the thought process is there.
But he didn't have to pit. He maintained them for the whole race. Yeah. See, I think that's part of the difference between Kimi and Ollie. Ollie deserves to be in F1 because he's had the time in F1.
Yeah.
Kimi's not ready yet. He's not ready yet.
He's
not
got enough experience.
Proto Wolf. He's not ready.
So many times. He's
not got enough experience. He's going to get there, and he will be there. He's just not there yet. Relax.
And then the wheel-to-wheel thing that happened was Oliver in the middle, sandwiched between Crawford and his teammate, and like, I'll send y'all the clip afterwards, but, like, it is insane to watch because they should have crashed the way they were driving.
Well, it was either luck or Jesus, so...
It's one of the two, but watching Crawford race, Paul Aaron did not the best he's done, but he starts P1 tomorrow for the actual race. That's going to be fun. I slept through most of F3, if I'm going to be honest.
But yeah, thank you for the sprint update.
I knew just because of like what happened with Kimi that it would be.
Yeah, it was relevant. It was relevant. Q2. I really don't remember anything relevant from Q2 for F1. I mean, Carlos was out early, and like he didn't get out, like, but he was like one of the first cars on the track.
Yeah.
He was early on every single round, and I was just like, okay, pop off, Queen, whatever.
For Logan, Logan upset me too. I love him. He performed consistently, I guess.
That is
because
true.
He got the same exact position, and I'll say Alex upset me because he dropped from being able to go to Q1 and Q3 from Q1 with the race stats he pulled, and
I really don't think anything else interesting happened in Q2. Like, I can't think of anything.
That's
well, it's technically Q3, but Q3, the Yuki Tsunoda crash, he was airborne. Like, airborne. Into the wall. And I was just like, I'm staring at
already
my
a
phone.
crash-heavy week for
Yeah.
all motorsports, because
all of them.
IndyCar with Rossi getting retired because he broke his fingers, and then the Q3, the Q for F3 and F2, they had crashes. There was a crash in the sprints today, and then Yuki crashes today.
And they're all, like, relatively in the same spots. Like,
It's
I know
always
Yuki...
either turn 4 and 5 or turn 11.
Right. I was going to say, it's either 4, 5, or 11. And they all have been 4, 5, or 11. And I'm just like, maybe we should evaluate this, because if you're having this many crashes in a race on the same spot, at some point it's no longer the drivers and the cars. At some point I feel like it's just the track. Like, it is simply just the track. Hot take. But
at least for Q1 we got McLaren 1-2.
Double McLaren!
I can't wait to see them fuck Oscar over!
I'm so happy for Oscar and Lando.
I'm happy for them, but I know it's just... it's gonna hurt.
See,
And it inevitably gets ruined.
I really don't want one of the McLarens to win, and here's why. I saw a TikTok that for the past 13 years, whoever has won the Hungarian Grand Prix doesn't win the championship. They don't win. They come second or third or lower. They don't win. So if Oscar wins, it's fine. He's not. Is he really in the running for it? I don't think so. Not at least. Not
Lando is in second for the World Championship right now.
Yeah, it's Max, Lando, Charles, poor Charles, and then Carlos, and then Oscar. So I think Oscar could, like, squeak into third, but I don't think he'd actually, like... But yeah, so I'm looking at it, and I'm just like, oh. I mean, we've already established, like, low-key, if you do the, like, math with the points, it's nearly impossible to have anybody but Max win at this point because of how well he set himself up in the first half of the season.
He would have to not be able to drive for the second half of the season.
Pretty much.
And I don't want that to happen because I love seeing him race.
Right! But also,
I would love to see someone... Actually, if I'm being honest, I would love Lando to have one more year of driving really well, and then he gets the championship next year.
Yeah.
That's a lot of pressure, and I don't want him getting a lot of hate immediately. I want people to see, like, he worked for it. It's not like the year he started performing really, really well is the year he just got it instantly.
Oh, this is something I want to talk about that I saw yesterday all over social medias. People camping outside of the drivers' hotels?
That's wild.
Excuse
That's
me?
crazy. That's so out of... Like, no. That's over the boundaries.
The fact that they had to barricade outside so that the drivers could walk to and from their car.
They had to barricade, and then also people are saying, like, oh my god, Lando's so rude. Oh my god, Oscar's so rude. They're not taking pictures. I'm like, you were camping outside their hotel!
Obviously, that's like a level of a stalker. Like, get out.
Yeah.
Well, and it's like, Oscar and Lando have talked about how they're such last-minute people. They'll leave and get ready 5 minutes before they have to leave to get there on time.
Right.
And so, them not stopping for 20, 30 people to take pictures with, I'm sorry, but it makes fucking sense because they have a job to go do. They are still people and allowed their private life.
And the fact that I've been seeing people online saying, like, it comes with the territory.
Yeah.
Like, you're a celebrity. You should just be used to this.
And this has happened before with Charles, because people were outside his house ringing his doorbell. And he kept on posting about it, saying, hey, I'd like everyone to stop, because it's just really creepy, and I'm not going to be answering my door anytime soon. And I think he had to go stay over at a friend's because it got too much at some point. I'm not too sure about that one, though.
Well, because it's a safety hazard, too. Like, people need to realize that, yes, they might be celebrities or famous to us, but they are still people deep down and deserve to have privacy. I don't want random people coming up to my house. I fucking hate solicitors. But
yeah.
So I'm not gonna just go up to a bunch of like famous people and be like, well, it's different because you put yourself in the spotlight. So
somebody.
Let me get my hot takes out here.
I think Daniel will at least come in points. Hopefully, because he's really good at like keeping his position when he starts. Fingers
crossed. Fingers crossed.
Crossing fingers.
We don't even know if Yuki can race. Like,
Yeah.
we don't know what the damage to his car
Because he hasn't
is.
been medically cleared at this point.
Right. So would they put Liam in? Is Liam their reserve driver? That's so bad! Oh my god!
After
you make
Liam,
fun about
like,
Liam, I'm taking your job!
After
I'm taking your job and your current seat, bitch.
Well. I don't know if they have the same reserve driver because technically it's the same team, but also technically it's not.
Right. I wasn't sure, but that'd actually be so funny. I was just like, wait a minute. Wait. No, it's it's not Liam.
I'm saying the reserve driver is
it would
Liam
be.
Lawson.
Their reserve driver is Liam Lawson. Good to know. So I saw that the internet is also saying that it wasn't Toto who requested a super license for Kimi. It was Red Bull requesting the age be dropped for a 16-year-old who's currently driving. He qualified P2 in something yesterday. I think it was I don't remember his name, but he drives for Red Bull currently, just in a lower level.
It might be Hajar.
Yes, it is. Yeah. I was like,
so that's F2. That's an F2 driver, Hajar, and he did really good today.
It's just I saw that and I was like, I'm pretty sure it was Toto and Kimi, but you can keep saying that if you want. So let's get into the race predictions before I have to run. God. This is what I think is going to happen. I think it's going to be Oscar, then like Max and Lando are gonna be like fighting for 2 and 3 because I need Oscar to win. Sorry.
Yeah.
Fourth is gonna be Carlos. I don't think he's gonna get close enough to Max or Lando. I think it's gonna be Lando v Max the entire time again. And then fifth, I honestly think Hamilton's gonna hold on to the fifth. Yeah. I really do. He honestly had a pretty good day today. Nothing really weird happened with him.
Nothing really weird, just his spin out in practice.
Yeah, which was, it is what it is. Charles touched the damn wall yesterday in practice.
Yeah, no, he just grazed it.
Yeah.
I just touched it, just grazed right past it. So, that's what I think. Oscar, Lando and Max fighting for 2 and 3. Carlos, Lewis Hamilton. Which, I think that's like the top 5. And then I honestly think Nico will get points again because Nico's being a menace.
Yeah,
I love him in his menace era.
Let's keep it up. I think Daniel's going to get points as well. I think Daniel is going to be somewhere low in the points, but I think he's going to get points.
Yeah, probably 9th 8th, maybe?
Yeah, I'm like 8, 9, 10, somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm.
And we're always praying for Logan's points. We're praying for Logan's
I'm
points.
We're praying for a
crash.
finish. We're praying for a finish.
We're praying for a finish from Logan Sargent.
I'm living on a prayer
Logan.
most days.
One thing that I think
Logan,
is,
if you hear this,
one thing that I think is going to
please.
happen is there might be a big crash. Because in one of the turns, either turn 2 or turn 4, I can't remember what one. It's something about it.
No, I agree, and I've had this feeling like all weekend watching F3, F2, and now F1 drivers race there. I feel like something bad's gonna happen at the race this weekend.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's gonna be I don't know which race it's gonna be, but there's going to be a bad crash this weekend. I would love it for me to be wrong, of course, but
knock on wood, we hope you're wrong.
Yeah.
We hope you are wrong. Like, knock on wood, we hope you're wrong. But I think you're right. I think there's going to be some weird something, and it's going to cause a lot of issues. I honestly think it's going to be Charles, just with the way his luck's going. He doesn't deserve it, but I think it's going to be Charles.
Yeah. I mean,
I hope it's not any of the drivers who've already crashed, and I hope it's not Logan.
Oh, no.
Just because of the Hungarian curse, I hope it's Oscar. Or Lando.
Yeah, the wind curse.
Yeah.
Rick, I hope that Oscar wins, just because I want an Oscar win, because I think he deserves it at this point, and I don't think he's in contingency to really become world champion this year. Yeah, McLaren. I want Logan to just not crash. If he gets in points, I am doing a shoey. If Oscar wins, I'm doing a shoey. If they both...
Oh my god, I forgot about the shoeys!
I'm doing 2 shoeys because fuck it.
Yeah, a shoey for each driver.
One for each shoe.
Shoey for each driver. I said I'd take a shot. I don't do beer.
Daniel gets in points, I will be doing a shoey.
Yeah,
no,
I'll agree to that one too.
If Daniel gets points, I'll take like a mega shot. You know, like a mega pint of wine.
Yeah.
As Jack Sparrow says, I will take a mega shot. Like a huge.
I will also say if Checo somehow recovers and he gets to points, which I would love to see him do because I know he has it in him.
He's got that dog in him.
He got that dog in him. I know he does.
I think that either Lando or Oscar will come in P1. I'm hoping. Then P2, it's either Max, possibly Charles. Possibly. No, because...
From where?
No, wait, what position does he come in? Hold on.
He was like 6.
Yeah, he had 6. 6 is reasonable.
Yeah, 6 is reasonable.
If he pits at the right time and puts the right tires on...
I think he'll come 4th.
Ferrari! We're looking at you, Ferrari! I think it's more likely going to be Carlos than Charles.
Yeah.
That high.
Carlos is already like, honest. Fuck you, Ferrari. We're doing my strategies this year.
This is no longer Ferrari, this is just Carlos.
So, Lando or Oscar coming in first, then second.
Okay.
It could be one of them McLarens fighting with Verstappen for that second position. Then I think Carlos might come in third. Or Max. Either way.
Yeah.
Then hopefully Charles Leclerc, then Hamilton.
Okay.
I want to add one real quick. I think just because of the upgrades they did, not saying Kick Sauber is doing a great job, because I would love to see Bottas since he got P12. I'd love to see him in points. Because I missed my man scoring points.
Yeah, he really deserves
he just
points.
His mustache. It's a whole
Saber doesn't have any points right now, do they?
Bottas doesn't. He is the 25th in the 20 driver championship.
Valtteri.
21st.
26.
I'm adding 4 more drivers to this championship.
My boyfriend took away 18. You added 4.
Yeah.
You're 5. But yeah, I think those are some solid predictions. I really think that it's the top 5 are going to be close again. It's been a battle the last couple of races for the top 5. I think really if Carlos just sticks with the strategy of just being there, if somebody crashes out, he's going to take it. I think he's going to pull a George Russell. Like, you know, like pulling a Verstappen? Yeah. No, I think he's going to pull a George.
Yeah, of course you like that crash because it got you the win.
You the win, right. Oscar. Of course you like that crash. You got a win out of it.
I would say it'd be cool to see Max, though, pull what Lando did. Not what Lando did, what Russell did. By being P3 and then getting around them for P1 first turn.
Yeah.
I also know the Hungarian is like very hard to pass on turns. As evident by today. I fucking hate it here, guys.
That's what the commentators were saying. They're like, it's so hard to pass in turns on this track. And I was like, yeah, no shit.
Like, Antonelli, he got the lead on a guy after he braked during a turn. Turned under braking to block him. Antonelli still got in front of him. And it's like, it was dangerous because they almost crashed.
It's just like, I don't know. I think it's going to be another interesting race. I'd also like to point out the fact that, yeah, Max was P3 in Quali, but he also didn't go back out. Like, Max did not go back out for another lap. So, as much as he was P3, like, there's really no telling what he's going to do tomorrow.
He didn't push the car one more time.
He was P3, but he was fucking pissed. Like, when he came out, the commentator's like, he's mad. And I was like, Mad Max! Oh my god!
Mad Max and racing, like, actual racing back in the span of a month, and
Mad Max is my spirit animal. I say it all the time. Mad Max is my favorite. Most of my edits are Mad Max edits. Like, they're not even thirst trap edits. They're Mad Max. I love Mad Max. I love Max being Max. It's my favorite.
Mad Max is everybody's inner demon, you know?
I call him Max the Menace sometimes. Because that's what he is. He's a menace.
Yeah.
He's a menace on and off the track, just in different connotations.
He is the menace.
He is the menace. Max the menace. Like, I gotta hop off my Max box before I get off on a tangent, because those are always fun. But, yeah, I think as far as race predictions go, really interesting. We might do a live, like, reaction to the race, the three of us. We might watch it and do a live recording. Maybe, if not,
maybe on Twitter live space.
Yeah, we could do that. We might do live reaction to the race, and then we'll record an episode afterwards. Looking probably to release it sometime midweek, just so it's still relevant, but you know, also we can add some fun little sneaky news in there for you guys that we hear after the race.
Yeah.
So keep a lookout for content coming, and we'll see y'all in the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Just wanna tickle my scrotum and touch my nutsack. People would argue that they're the same thing. Maybe they are, but scrotum is ticklish. Ticklish it is.